So, this one's gonna be about thinking patterns and 5 irrational ones, or those you should actually stop to do or stop doing, stop practicing, whatever it is. You should just not be doing them. But more, as always, after the motherfucking intro. You probably thought I was gone, but I was not gone. I just closed the windows. And I also just remembered that I need my blankets, my anti-echo blankets. I'm sorry. So that the audio quality is somehow decent, I just need them. I just need them because the difference is just insane, as you might can hear right now. Because now with the blanket, it is just no echo. My voice is just how it is, I guess. It is more pure, I think. And I don't know. I do also believe that the background noises aren't too heavy as well. Just because, the blanket is blocking some sort of the sound or some bits of the sound, which is definitely good. By the way, hand gestures or gestures, whatever they are called, I actually don't know. Really not good to do certain things in certain countries, Always just look for these things. Always just look up before you go into another country what things you should not be doing, whether it be just in terms of clothing and whether it be in terms of just fucking hand gestures. Because, I don't know, nobody wants to piss off some other people. It's really unnecessary. It really is. But as I haven't said, but as I'm going to say now, we are again on the ideas.ted.com website with an amazing article, because I always try to point out things and or emphasize things that I believe are important and are just really meant to be just spread, I guess. And this is definitely one of these things because thinking patterns and definitely also thinking patterns that you should actually stop to do or stop using, even though you might not know them, but through just going through that and or through pointing these out and through actually seeing what thinking patterns there are and whatsoever and what negative patterns there are, I believe that some people might be like, well, I'm thinking that way. This is how I think. And this is then pretty good, because it could just really change somebody's life. And this is what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for helping people and or helping someone with that, also with the entertainment, this is also a big part, or at least a big part that I'm trying to incorporate into the work that I'm doing, the work that I'm putting out. But so 5 irrational thinking patterns that could be dragging you down and how to start challenging them. From Joanne Rosenberg. Actually, the funny thing is, it is again a German last name, theoretically. Practically, no, because Rosenberg is definitely also just really common in English-speaking countries, I guess. But but with German pronunciation, it would be Rosenberg. If you're interested, I don't know, might be. And this article is actually from March the 12th, 2019. So it is basically a really, really new one. Something that I've found to just point out right now, because it might also help somebody. When you're using Opera or just maybe some other browsers, it might be the thing that the ideas.ted.com website is not loading, because when I'm scrolling down, there is no new article popping up or something, there is no new articles that get to show me. But when I'm using it on Chrome, so on Google Chrome, the browser, then everything is working quite fine. I'm just having quite a list of articles, with all these just pictures they're having there, and it works quite fine. I don't know why it isn't working for some browsers, but so if there's not the article, or if there's just basically only 12 articles on the site, which is definitely not the case, then it might be just a problem with your browser. Something that I've seen, something that is a little bit bothering, But actually complaining about stupid things like that is really unnecessary, because most of us really have a great life. But so if you would like to see the ways your mind is leading you astray, it is not enough to look at what you're thinking. You need to examine how you're thinking too. Psychologist Joanne Rosenberg names 5 faulty thinking patterns and tells how you can start to change them. If you looked at the the contents of your mind, would most of your thoughts be positive, optimistic, and accepting, or negative, pessimistic, and cynical? An applicable amount of our sense of well-being is tied to what we think, or the content of our thoughts. Do your thoughts suggest calm and contentment, or anger, disappointment, and anxiety? What is on your mind, or what you think is determined by how you think, or your thinking patterns. And in fact, certain assumptions and cognitive errors can contribute to an experience of depression and leave people feeling more unhappy about their lives, says psychiatrist and cognitive behavior therapy pioneer David Burns in his book Feeling Good, The New Mood Therapy. It's actually a book that I went through on this particular podcast as well. And if I remember correctly, it was a pretty good one. In terms of summaries, it is really pretty tough to say that a book is good or not, because a summary just shows you a small little bit of the whole book, and also just really subjective view, because the summary is also written by someone, and they just also might not be using the exact same words. They might be just basically forming the sentence in a slightly different structure so that it might feel like negative, even though it is just really neutral, or it is meant to be neutral. So really a lot of ways to, form these things and present these things to other people. These thinking errors may leave one with a poor view of self, no interest in connecting with others, and no desire or energy to pursue goals. Psychologists use the phrase cognitive distortions that I've been also thinking about before. They're really important, and I guess it was actually a book. It might actually be the book. So it might actually be Feeling Good, the New Mood Therapy, where there's a list of all those cognitive distortions. And those cognitive distortions are very, very important to know, so that you can see, okay, I'm having this distortion, I'm having this error, I'm doing this, I'm thinking this way. It is really important. I might be linking down this particular article. So not only this TED article, but also the article that I'm thinking about, if I can find it, down in the description, because it is really, really helpful, especially when there might be more in it than in this particular article. Then definitely, check out the links down in the description. Maybe there might be it. I hope that I found it actually. And yeah, for the podcast listeners as well, everything should be down in the show notes, as always, as every single day where I'm posting, because I'm posting every single day. So yeah. So psychologists use the phrase cognitive distortions to describe irrational or faulty thinking patterns. Although many more can be found in the psychology literature, below are several that I hear my own clients express. Some overlap with one another, or several may occur simultaneously, which then is definitely fucked up. But it for sure is not always okay, you have one and this is it, but you might be having 2 or 3 or 4, because there are quite a bunch of them, but they're really important. And I'm really glad, I'm so glad and grateful that I've chosen to go through this one, because this is such an important thing to be discussed, or to discuss, because people should know that, people should know when they're having a faulty thinking pattern, or if they just use faulty thinking patterns to think, obviously. But it's really important, to just also prevent yourself from getting crazy, maybe, because it shows you, okay, many more people are having the exact same problem, because psychology has found it, psychology has seen it, psychologists have seen it, and really important, just really important. So after reviewing the list, select the cognitive distortion that best describe how you think. If there are more than one, work on one at a time. This process will take effort. You need to be aware of the distortion, catch yourself using it, and then replace the thought pattern with more constructive and optimistic thinking. When you begin to decrease these distortions, you will create a path toward a more fully expressed life. You develop more emotional flexibility, the ability to be responsive to changes rather than reactive, and the resilience to bounce back when things are difficult. There is so much more for you to experience in life. All you need is to be willing to break out of thought patterns that are keeping you artificially constrained and distracted. Definitely change those patterns. if you're now seeing while you're listening to this, if it is the podcast or while you're watching this, if this is the YouTube video, please change something up. Please do something about it, or at least try to do something about it. And when you really feel like depressed, please get professional help. It is nothing bad about it. Like, it is so fucked up that in our society it is really like, having mental issues is definitely way, way, way more severe than having physical ones. It is actually, well, even though it is basically like the same, the same severity, if there is actually the word, because I don't know. And but people think about it in such a negative way, but it shouldn't be the case. Of course, some people, and even a lot of people, have mental pains and mental issues and mental things going on that are not good. But yeah, just go and get professional help. If you're just having some issues with your fucking leg or with your arm, you also just go into the hospital, or you go to your doctor or something to just let it check. We're all doing that, and this is normal. And it's really time to just let the mental things also be normal. Like, it is okay, and it is even really good that you're getting professional help, because a lot of people are not getting professional help because they feel like, okay, people are gonna think just in a bad way about me if I tell them, okay, I have had professional help with my mental issues. And then there are actually people like Tim Ferriss. He's just talking about it. He's just talking about it as just a normal thing, because it is a normal thing. He's just talking about it, and you definitely have to check him out, because he was having just really severe depression for a pretty long time in his life, and it is still in him, theoretically and also practically, I guess. And he had some issues with it, and he also wanted to kill himself. And he's just talking about it, and it is really important that people are talking about it. So I really please you, if you're having some issues with your mental health, please go get professional help. If you're just really feeling like, okay, there's no other way, please really do that. Give a fuck about what anybody's thinking about you, and just do and get healthy, and just build yourself a fulfilling life and a happy life, because you have one life, probably. And this should be an amazing one, and this should be a good one, and you should feel good, and you should be happy. And you shouldn't be struggling with a lot of mental stuff just because, it might be just really fucked up if you tell people that you are just getting professional help with it. It should not be the case. It should definitely not be the case. But I'm seeing now I should maybe be doing this in such a way. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit brighter. So let's actually move on. And see what mental arrows there are. The first thing is the all or nothing thinking. What it is, you see people and situations in either or categories. For example, a new colleague is amazing or boring, a night out is the best or the worst, without allowing for complexity. So without allowing for complexity, in reality our lives unfold in shades of grey. It definitely is the case. It is just really rare that things are binary. Like either one or either or. It is just really, really rarely the case. In terms of pregnancy or something, yeah, definitely. But in terms of, are you feeling good? Well, yeah, you might be feeling good. You might be just feeling a little bit bad. You might be feeling amazingly good. I don't know. There's so many things. There's so many variables. There's so many shades of gray, as they also say. Nice rhyme there. So how to challenge it? Notice the times that you do this. For example, you may spot yourself thinking, I have to be perfect on the dance floor, or I'll look like a fool. Question the pattern by generating one possibility that exists between the two options. You might think, I love to dance, so I'll just go out there and try to enjoy myself. Take this as a step further by coming up with two more possibilities, such as, I may not be a great dancer, but I will never see most of these people again, or I will get out there for 2 songs and if I still feel awkward, I will consider sitting down. Finding one alternative can help break the pattern, and conceiving of a few more develops your skills in seeing the nuances in every situation. Because, I don't know, I could be like, yeah, this episode is a little bit bad just because the speaking part is not really just on point today, because I'm feeling like, okay, it might not be the best, but the thing is this then really a bad episode just because I feel like that my speaking game today is really not that good? Without actually thinking about the content that I'm producing, without thinking about the thing that I'm going through at the time, which is definitely very important and very valuable and very just, I think important is a good word. So I don't know, and also judging yourself, don't do that shit, who are you to judge yourself? Why would you, I don't know. Also in terms of your content, who actually says that your content is bad? I think the market says, not you, not your body, the market. So like your body, like your friend, your mate, because I pronounce it in a little bit of a messy way. The thing is, the market. If it is about a product or content or whatever it is, then the market should be the judge. If people are buying your stuff, it is probably pretty good. If people are not buying it, then it is probably not really good, unless it is actually the case that the right people haven't actually seen it. This could also be the thing. Then maybe advertising or whatever it is could help. But if it is okay, the people that should be buying it, they're seeing it, but they're rather buying something from a competitor, then I think you have to think about it, and then you have to really ask yourself whether what you're doing is actually the best you can be doing, or whether what you're doing, is just good for this particular person or this particular target group, because it seems not to be the case. And the second one is overgeneralizing, something that I absolutely hate. It is just insane. What it is, you draw general rules from specific events and apply them across unrelated situations. Your rules are usually negative rather than positive. For example, when you don't get a job you think, people don't like me and I'm going to die alone too. Yeah, people are doing this, unfortunately. So how to challenge it? Every time you find yourself indiscriminately applying one past outcome to another anticipated or upcoming situation, keep telling yourself, this one outcome is just that one outcome. It has nothing to do with any upcoming outcome. It has nothing to do with anything that you might be anticipating, or there's no way anticipating something negative just because something negative has happened once. It's also the exact same thing with food. Just because your burger was bad once doesn't mean that doesn't mean that every burger that you're going to eat is going to be bad. It just really doesn't, it just really isn't meaning that. It just means, okay, this burger was just bad. Maybe because the meat was bad, maybe the salad was bad, something was bad about it. That's a fact, but there's no fact and there's no scientific reason for assuming that the next burger is also going to be bad, because there are so many fucking burgers. Maybe if you're just eating the exact same burger at the exact same place, maybe then the burger is not going to be good. If it is about the taste, if it is about it being just, bad meat, in terms of, okay, the meat was just old or whatever, then I don't know. It could still be the case that it is going to be bad again, but I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And then we actually go again into the first one, which is actually seeing the nuances, because it is definitely not black and white. Maybe the burger the next time is going to be just somehow good, but you maybe don't like it, as such. It has nothing to do with the meat being bad or whatever, but you just don't like it. So many variables, so high complexity in life. It is really insane sometimes, if you think about it, if you really think about it. The third one is disqualifying the positive. What it is, you reject positive statements or occurrences by insisting they don't count for some reason or another. For example, your boss praises you in front of your colleagues. When someone mentions it to you later, you say, she said that because I was standing in front and she couldn't avoid me. How to challenge it? Whenever you disqualify the positive, you're wrongly reinforcing negative beliefs about yourself and your world. If you find it difficult to accept praise or compliments, you can start by saying a simple sincere thank you or I appreciate that. Then take a little time later to imagine what your life would be like if you believed the words were true. Because I believe that if you really believe in the positive words that people are just telling you, that your life might be just happier, or you might just see your real value. Because something that I also kind of assume is that people sometimes don't know how much value they have and how much in value they are, because they really are, like we all are, because we are all individuals, we are all just only once on this planet. Maybe you're having a twin, like possibilities are there, but who knows, and he or she is probably not going to have the exact same character, even though, or characteristics, as you are having. Maybe it is, I don't have any clue about genetics and all those things. Could be the case, I don't know. The thing is, no. Just no. Just no. Just no. The fourth one. The fourth and not last one, but nearly the last one. So personalization or excessive responsibility. What it is, you see yourself as the cause of a negative event for which you probably weren't responsible, or you weren't the only one responsible. Self-blame for others' misfortunes or for everyday misshapes, or relating external events to oneself when there's no basis for it, can negatively impact your daily life and how you see yourself. This can take many forms. Let's say you made an online dinner reservation for you and your friends, but when you show up at the restaurant, your name isn't on the list. You blame yourself and say, it is all my fault. Or in a more extreme example, you book a beach vacation for you and your family. It rains most of the week and you say, it is my fault because I wished too hard for good weather. And definitely the last ones, it's really like, no, don't do that. But in terms of the first one, I really gotta have to say that blaming yourself most of the time is most of the time a pretty good thing. Because you actually put yourself into the position of having the power to change it. And it is definitely something that I've been talking about just way too often before. But if you blame somebody else, it is just really like you have to wait until this certain person has to change, or this certain person changes something that you can feel good again. Because if it is about like, okay, I'm feeling bad or sad because this person just broke, I don't know, because this person moved my guitar from this place to another place. I don't know why you're sad because of this, but just let's assume that. Then you gotta have to change until this person is basically just removing the guitar again, or just moving the guitar again, until you can be happy again. It is a really bad example, I know, but but the thing is, I really know that you understand what I mean. Because you are a smart person. You are a smart and sincere and amazing person. So how to challenge it? Personalization appeals to our deep desire to be seen as responsible and effective, except it ends up adding unnecessary and unjustified pressure and strain to life. In situations where you are quick to take responsibility for something that is out of your control, notice how you might have contributed to the problem. In the case of the missing reservation, perhaps you could double check that you chose the right date and time from the restaurant. Time, and that you didn't miss a confirmation email or text from the restaurant. In addition, consider all of the other factors that may have contributed to the problem. The reservation is software, ? The restaurant's computer, ? And who else might hold responsibility? And the fifth and last one actually is should statements. I'm sorry, I haven't shown you. So this is the text, how to challenge it. I'm very sorry. I sometimes fucked it up, to be honest. But this happens. This just happens. The fifth one, should statements. What it is, your internal dialogue is full of statements that include the words should, ought to, or must. These words sting. Using them frequently can result in feelings of frustration and anger. Let's say your boss tells you that she wants you to hand in a proposal on Monday. You tell yourself, I should have this project completed by Friday, otherwise I'm a lazy failure. So how to challenge it? Maybe you've heard the phrase, stop shoulding on yourself. Should, ought to, and must are words of constraint and constriction. They can lead to your feeling like you have a few options and too high expectations. Expanding your sense of choice starts with changing the language you use in your self-talk. Whenever you catch a should, ought, and must, replace it with can, choose, or decide to. Something that you've probably heard before, But yeah, it is just really, I don't want to say basic, but a really common thing that you can see in self-help or self-development. But it is not necessarily bad or something. It is like, it makes sense. It makes sense. It really does. So adapted from the new book, 90 Seconds to a Life You Love, How to Master Your Difficult Feelings to Cultivate Lasting Confidence, Resilience, and Authenticity by Joan Rosenberg. Reprinted with permission from Little Brown Spark, a division of Hatchet Book Group Inc., copyright 2019 by Joan Rosenberg. So this is the book. 19 Seconds to a Life You Love. How to Master Your Difficult Feelings to Cultivate Lasting Confidence, Resilience, and Authenticity. Seems to be an amazing book because, as I said before, those mental distortions and or cognitive distortions, it is basically the same, really are really important to know about because you might be doing them. You might just be doing them, and it's, I don't know, does it have something to do with you just, I don't know, being mentally ill or something? I probably don't think so, because a lot of people are thinking in such ways, and you probably can think about somebody that is doing one of these 5 things as well, or maybe more than one of these 5 things, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, who knows? But don't care about other people, just try to progress on yourself and try to progress for yourself and develop yourself. Like, I don't know, comparing to others is like something really unnecessary, and doesn't make any sense because you are not them and they are not you, and they basically have nothing to do with you, besides the fact, okay, that there might be a relationship or something, but okay, there's a relationship, but okay, that's fucking it, and now what you gonna do? What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do with it? But yeah, this is gonna be the end of the episode. I do kind of believe that I might be recording the other one just right now afterwards, just because I can then upload them. But I don't know, the thinking game today is really not that good. Something that really is not that good. I don't know. Maybe I put myself under too much pressure. Could also be the case. But yeah, I wish you the best. I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on you gonna be remembered. So basically, your legacy. Because we totally can shape it. The thing is, no matter how nice you are, and no matter how good and generous and whatever you are, there might still be someone that is not liking you or is even hating you because, I don't know, I kind of believe this is how we human beings are to some degree. But yeah, I wish you the best. Also think about your purpose and questions like, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? What is pissing you off the most might be just a few good questions for you to ask so that you can actually figure out what your purpose on this life is, or in this life, on this planet is. And yeah, because it is definitely important to know your purpose, why you are here, why you're doing what you're doing, and all those things. So this might be helping you. And with that being said, thanks a lot for watching and listening from the bottom of my heart. This is really, really, really good. I love it. I love what I'm doing, even though on some days the speaking thing is not really on point. But yeah, what should I be doing? There might be something that I can be doing, but I don't know. I see you the next time. Thank you a lot.